On the eve of the college entrance exam, the nanny at home fell ill. I took all my New Year's money, ready to give it to the nanny's daughter, Lu Qin, for emergency help. As soon as I opened the door, I saw countless subtitles floating before my eyes. Here it comes. The supporting female character is about to discover that her boyfriend is passionately kissing the female lead. Exactly. The little New Year's money she has is nothing compared to what the male lead can casually spare. Of course, Qin would choose the male lead. Thinking of she, that stingy miser, I silently retracted my foot. In that case, I wish her success. Seeing me close the door and return to my room to work on problems, the barrage on the screen instantly exploded. What's going on? Why isn't the female supporting character going out anymore? If she doesn't go out, how can she make the female lead feel threatened and win she's sympathy? My hand paused while writing the question. So, it turns out that my provocation is needed for she to show sympathy. I chuckled. Do these people even understand that a playboy like she doesn't need any emotional fluctuations to get aroused? At that moment, another bullet comment caught my attention. But without Fang Yi's money in the early stages, how could Qin help her mother get through the crisis? Don't worry. Qin once overheard the conversation between the supporting female character and her parents and learned that she had 500,000 yuan in cash from her New Year's money. Fang Yi treats Qin as a close friend. So, as long as Qin asks, Fang Yi will definitely hand it over to her without hesitation. Although 500,000 yuan isn't a huge amount, it's enough to solve the urgent problem. The bullet comments continued to scroll. A cold smile crept onto my face. Did she overhear my conversation with my parents by accident? The study on the 3rd floor is divided into separate compartments. Not only are the maids and others usually not allowed on the 3rd floor, but even if they were, unless they pressed their ears against the door, they wouldn't be able to hear a fight inside. Lu Qin is really too careless. But the barrage is right. 500,000 isn't much. Lu Qin definitely wouldn't care about such a small amount of money. Thinking of this, I casually contacted my dad's secretary. I'll take that jade bracelet from the other day. The barrage instantly exploded again. What's up with the supporting female lead? The barrage seems to have a big issue with me spending the money. The insults hurled at me were endless, and I was filled with righteous indignation. I closed the book and got into bed. The supporting female character really deserves to die, kicking her best friend when she's down at her most helpless moment. The supporting female character spent all the money. What will Qin do? The villainous supporting female character can only be a villainous supporting female character. Even if given 10,000 chances, she would still just stand by and do nothing. Bullet comments are really strange. What kind of malicious supporting character would think of lending their New Year's money to a good friend in an emergency? These people are simply too naive. I stopped looking at what the bullet comments were saying and focused on solving the problems. The next morning, as soon as I opened my eyes, a screen full of pink bubbles rushed into my sight. What should Lu Qin do with Lu Qin and she together? Do we still need to worry about what to do? Sure enough, the moment I opened my eyes the next morning, I was greeted by a screen full of pink bullet comments. Is this something I'm allowed to see? As expected of the male lead. His stamina is just that good. Night after night of revelry. This is the right way for the male and female leads to open up. Write more. I love watching it. I didn't pay attention and continued to get up and do my homework. The barrage immediately sneered at me. The supporting female character still doesn't know that her boyfriend has already slept with someone else. Does she? My hand paused while writing the question. Did she really win over Lu Qin so quickly? Could it really be? As the barrage said that she and Lu Qin have already been together, I took out my phone and dialed she's number. After a brief ring, the call was disconnected. Instantly, countless mocking comments flooded the screen. The villainess still doesn't know that her boyfriend is sleeping with her best friend. Does she? But they were quickly drowned out by other comments. The female lead endured humiliation to study with the villainess. And now that her mother is sick, the villainess not only shows no concern, but also forces the female lead to lower her head to the male lead. Study. while other people's kids are already running errands. All you know how to do is study. Is it inappropriate for a minor to write such a plot? Finally, a normal comment appeared, but it was quickly drowned out. The male lead spent a few extra years to solidify his foundation. And the female lead endured humiliation to accompany the supporting female character in her studies. They're both adults now. Okay. Endured humiliation. A hint of coldness flickered in my eyes. So, is this how Lu Qin has always thought of it? When she attended the private lessons with me that cost thousands per session, there was no sign of her enduring humiliation or bearing a heavy burden. The heavy rain hadn't stopped and the sound of a keypad lock opening came from outside. Unlock failed. Unlock failed. What the hell is going on? Did the female supporting character change the password last night? The female supporting character is just that supporting character. Not only does she not care that her good friend didn't come home all night, but she even changed the door code. What's on her mind? Those who know the female lead's mother is already sick and pitiful and now she's locked out by her good friend. I can't even imagine how helpless she must feel right now. Helpless. I opened the door and Lu Qin outside was drenched in rain, looking as if she had been soaked for a long time. Her eyes were brimming with tears as she looked at me, appearing almost shattered. Fang Yi, why did you change the password at home? Oh my heart aches for Qin Qin. Why hasn't the supporting female character poured water for Qin Qin yet? Can't you see she's soaked to the skin? The villainous supporting female character always kicked someone when they're down, taking advantage of our poor Qin Qin and bullying her at every turn. Poor Qin Qin. She's willing to do anything to treat her mother's illness. Yet, she doesn't dare tell the supporting female character. What a pitiful little thing. I watched the flicker of cunning in Lu Qin's eyes and said, when too many people know the password, there are no secrets left in the house. Fear not the thief who steals, but the thief who covets. Lu Qin's face instantly turned deathly pale. Before the barrage of comments could pass judgment on my character, Lu Qin couldn't hold back any longer. What do you mean by that? Tears streaming down her face. Lu Qin fixed her almond-shaped eyes on me. We grew up together and you actually suspect that I would take your money. Did I mention money? I retorted. Lu Qin realized she had misspoken and quickly tried to make amends. No, it's not that. You said back then that if I ever faced any difficulties, you would definitely help without hesitation. I chuckled lightly. I was young and naive back then. You didn't actually take that seriously, did you? A flicker of resentment flashed in Lu Qin's eyes as she stepped forward and linked her arm with mine. Fang Yi, ever since we were kids, your parents were always busy. It was my mom who worked tirelessly to raise both of us. Now that she's sick, I really have no other choice. I know this amount isn't small, but I will definitely pay you back in the future. Once my mom recovers, I'll have her make you your favorite black chicken and red date soup. A bullet comment floats by. Woo, woo, Qin Qin is truly a little angel, lowering herself and flattering someone who looks down on her. All for her mother. I declare this as the resilient female lead. Who else? I sneer at the bullet comments and pull my arm away. It seems you've misunderstood something. Your mother came to our house to work as a nanny and we paid her for it. Getting paid to do the job, isn't that just how it should be? Lu Qin bit her lip, clenched her fists, and looked at me with a heartbroken expression. I thought we were good friends. My mom may be your family's nanny, but I'm not. You don't have to talk to me like you're so superior. The barrage of comments was flying fast and furious. Exactly. Exactly. The way the supporting female character acts all high and mighty is just disgusting. I beg you. Is this really something a childhood friend should do? Kicking someone when they're down. I've truly learned something new. Lu Qin seemed to notice the change in me. Gritting her teeth, she suddenly knelt down in front of me with a thud. I'm begging you, Fang Yi, for the sake of our childhood together, I promise I'll pay you back. Please, just help me out in this emergency. A comment on the screen read, poor Qin Qin, don't worry. That wicked supporting character won't even live long enough for you to pay her back. Her family is about to go bankrupt. And with her death, the debt will be gone. It's all karma. A cold smile curled at the corner of my lips. Sorry. I just spent all my money on that jade bracelet we saw last time. Lu Qin's face turned even paler, her body swaying unsteadily. You clearly know that I crouched down and looked at her. What should I know? Lu Qin avoided my gaze. Following the clues from the bullet comments, I reached for the torn corner of her clothes, which had been ripped by he/she. The cross-shaped tear, a signature quirk of he/she. I chuckled softly. Your clothes are torn, Lu Qin. Lu Qin trembled all over as if she had suffered some great injustice. I continued. Change into your own clothes and move out. Nanny Lu has already resigned. So, it's not appropriate for you to continue living in our house. Lu Qin's hand holding mine trembled slightly. She looked up at me, her whole body shaking, and I actually saw a hint of excitement in her eyes. I continued. And there's also the living expenses and tutoring fees you've incurred over the years at our house. Since Aunt Lu has resigned, it doesn't seem appropriate for you to continue living with us. Don't you think? Lu Qin wiped her face, straightened her back, and stood up, giving me a smug smile. Fang Yi, you don't really think I can't survive without you, do you? She dialed he/she's number right in front of me. Brother, I miss you so much. He/she's hoarse voice came from the other end. You little greedy cat. Come quietly. Don't let Fang Yi find out. I'll reward you. After hanging up the phone, Lu Qin looked at me smugly. Didn't expect that, did you? The person your family arranged for you to marry is now in my grasp. You've been a doormat for so many years. And in the end, you still have nothing. Fang Yi, do you think you'll always be above me? You just had the luck of being born into a better family than me. Lu Qin slammed the door and left. The barrage was filled with unanimous praise. Qin, well done. The supporting female character is truly vicious, thinking that Qin's fate can only be manipulated by her. Not realizing that the ruby necklace she has her eye on was already given to our Qin by he/she. That ruby necklace is worth 2 million. If Lu Qin sold it, she really wouldn't need to rely on my 500,000 to get by. My phone dinged and Lu Qin sent me a photo, the ruby necklace resting on her chest with he/she kissing it. I held back and blocked her in return. The barrage fell silent for a second. A comment floated across the screen. To be honest, isn't Qin being a bit too much? I knew Lu Qin's provocations wouldn't end, but I never expected her to come to school wearing that ruby necklace. She deliberately stood in front of me and said to the curious classmates around, my boyfriend thinks my skin tone really complements this necklace. Fang Yi, what do you think? This ruby necklace was something Lu Qin and I went to look at together. And it was also the one I messaged he/she about right in front of her, telling him I wanted this one. But this was clearly the gift I had chosen for he/she's mother. And now it was being worn by Lu Qin. He/she was surrounded by a crowd as he walked over with Lu Qin nestled in his arms. Brother, I'm a bit reluctant to bring it. I hope no one secretly envies me and tries to take it back later. Qin isn't good at arguing, so you must help me out when the time comes. Brother. His playful gaze fell on me. Don't worry. She's a proper fiancée and knows how to behave. Two carbon-based beings, yet not a single brain between them. I sighed and forced a smile. Yes, the quality of this ruby necklace is truly excellent. Let me say, our Qin is also an exceptionally filial girl. I heard your mother is so ill she's lying in the intensive care unit. It must have been difficult for you to find such a fine gem. Are you planning to sell it to pay for your mother's treatment? It's a bit of a shame, but your filial piety is commendable. By the way, do you have any channels? If not, I can recommend a few for you and offer you a good price. Upon hearing this, the people around immediately started chattering. Are you really going to sell it? Qin, I can buy it. I can buy it. This school is filled with children from wealthy families. Lu Qin only managed to attend this school because of my influence. She is insecure, sensitive, and has a strong sense of self-respect. As the saying goes, to hit a snake, strike its vital spot. Lu Qin's face immediately darkened, her small face turning deathly pale. She looked helplessly at he/she, hoping he would speak up for her. Brother. But to her surprise, she walked straight past her and came up to me. A carefree smile on his face. Are you jealous? My fiancé. Everyone in the class knows that she has a fiancé, which is nothing unusual in our circle. But what they didn't expect is that I am she's fiancé. And just now, Lu Qin, who has always been close to me, was clinging to my boyfriend in front of everyone, unable to part. Everyone's gaze toward Lu Qin became subtle. Her face flushed, then paled, then flushed again before she glared at me fiercely, turned, and ran away. She didn't care at all, putting his hand on my shoulder. Honey, I'll buy you a better one. I ignored his words, my eyes fixed on the bullet comments. Damn. The male lead is a bit disgusting, isn't he? Why doesn't he care about our Qin? Why? It's quite normal. The male lead's family has a rule that the engagement cannot be broken unless there is an issue between the two parties involved. Poor Qin. She can only lick her wounds alone, crying while holding a ruby necklace worth millions. That is truly pitiful. She was displeased with my distraction. All right. As long as we are heart to heart, our engagement will not be called off. What about Lu Qin? She's expression faltered. That was just an accident. The bullet comments were scrolling quickly. The male lead is also quite pitiful, having to compromise with the female lead because of his family elders. When will they finally get together? I'm so anxious. Don't worry, sister. The female supporting character is already on her way to complain to the female lead's parents. That's great. The female supporting character's parents are very kind people. In the original story, after the female supporting character brought about her own downfall, her parents left all their family property to Qin as compensation. Exactly. If they knew the supporting female character was someone who wouldn't lift a finger to help others, they would definitely cut off all family ties with her. My expression turned cold as my phone rang, and my mother's stern voice came through from the other end. Fang Yi, come back home for a while. Lu Qin showed me a screenshot of a check, 1 million. Not everyone in the world is as cold-blooded as you are. I immediately saved the screenshot. Okay, Mom. I actually have something I want to talk to you about, too. By the time I got home, Lu Qin was already gone. Seeing my gaze sweep around the room, my mother's expression immediately darkened. Stop looking. Qin has already taken the money to the hospital. Hearing this, I let out a long sigh of relief and said, then I can rest easy. Upon hearing this, my mother's expression immediately grew even more troubled. Rest easy about what? Fang Yi, even though Aunt Lu is our employee, she has truly taken good care of you all these years, allowing your father and me to focus on our work outside. Now that she's sick, how can you, as the child she's watched grow up, just stand by and do nothing? I pretended to be surprised. Mom, is that what Lu Qin told you? I frowned and let out a long sigh. It seems she didn't tell you either. What? I said with some sadness. Lu Qin and I grew up together since childhood. I was also very sad to learn that Aunt Lu was sick. I originally intended to lend all 500,000 to Lu Qin for the emergency and she could pay me back after she started working. It wouldn't be too late. But I never expected that Lu Qin had no intention of taking it at all. I said somewhat awkwardly. It seems she found a boyfriend at our school. After hearing this, my mother's expression changed. In our social circle, given Lu Qin's situation, what might have happened with a boyfriend could be guessed almost without thinking. My mother said, seriously, Lu Qin is a child we've watched grow up. Do you know what it means for you to say this? Dad also walked over. Fang Yi, you can't say such things carelessly. I sighed. Mom, Dad, of course I know that spreading such a thing would harm Lu Qin's reputation, but now everyone in the class knows about it. Today, Lu Qin brought a ruby necklace worth 1 million to school. I think it must have been a gift from her boyfriend. It seems she really doesn't need my measly 500,000 anymore. Mom looked at Dad with a grave expression. Fang Yi, is everything you said true? I quickly nodded. Mom, even if I were being thoughtless, I wouldn't joke about Aunt Lu's illness. Besides, I suspect Lu Qin has been in a relationship for quite a while. She didn't come home for several nights recently. Dad walked over and said, "Seriously? But Aunt Lou never received the medical payment. She just called your mom today, asking for an advance on her salary to cover the medical expenses. I gave the money to Lu Qin right before you arrived." The barrage of comments fell into an eerie silence. How could that be? Lu Qin only got together with the male lead in the first place to pay for her mother's medical treatment. Exactly. It must be that her mother's illness was too severe and the money wasn't enough. So, she came to ask the female supporting character's parents for it. At that moment, a sudden bullet comment popped up. But Lu Qin never went to the hospital. She went to the bank and deposited both the necklace and the 1 million yuan. This can't be true. I looked at the stubborn comments below and sneered. How is that impossible? Lu Qin has always been a person with insatiable desires. The comments paused for a moment. Holy! The supporting female character can see what we're saying. I've been able to see it for a long time. I said coldly. I didn't start seeing the comments on the day I planned to give Lu Qin money. I could see them from the very first time Lu Qin stepped into our home. She stole my mother's jewelry and wandered around my father's study door in sexy pajamas in the middle of the night. These are the foolish things your so-called good female lead has done. I picked up my phone and pulled up the surveillance footage. Would you like to take a closer look? A minor seducing an adult man. Lu Qin is clever. She knows that public opinion in today's society will protect her. Well, no one would believe that a teenage girl took the initiative to seduce someone. That's why I secretly installed cameras in the hallway without telling anyone. This is also why from then on my father no longer allowed the cleaning staff and nannies to go up to the 3rd floor. Watching the usually surging barrage of comments disappear before my eyes, I pulled up the video of Lu Qin secretly taking my mother's jewelry, then picked the smallest one and put it in my pocket. I have to thank you all for this. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to foresee it. Are you going to send Lu Qin to prison? I shook my head gently. No. It's not over yet. Have you forgotten? There's still one most important plot that hasn't happened yet. On the day of the college entrance exam, Lu Qin was waiting for me at the school gate early in the morning. Fang Yi, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said those things to you the other day. We grew up together and you are the most important person in my heart. She is just a scumbag. And I see that clearly now. You are the one who cares about me the most in this world. She walked over and leaned her whole body against my shoulder. Fang Yi, will you blame me? Of course not. I laughed. A flicker of surprise passed through Lu Qin's eyes. Really? I knew it. That jerk definitely isn't as important to you as I am. I've figured it out. Let's take the college entrance exam together and go to Beijing together. She pulled my arm like a spirited girl, cheering herself on, her face beaming with a youthful smile. As she spoke, she suddenly remembered something. Oh, right. I bought some soy milk on the way here. Drink it while it's hot. After we finish, we should get going. The barrage of comments seemed to hesitate, and I smiled at Lu Qin. Lu Qin, is there something you want to say to me? Say what? Lu Qin pretended to look at me with feigned innocence. For example, among all the men in the world, why did you have to fall for he/she? For example, do you truly love he/she? Or do you just enjoy comparing yourself to me and the thrill of trampling me underfoot? Lu Qin's face stiffened as she handed me the soy milk with a straw poked in. What are you talking about? Fang Yi, how could I be that kind of person? We have an exam today, so don't overthink it. Let's talk about everything after the exam. At worst, I'll call he/she out and let you beat him up to vent your anger. Bullet comments drifted sparsely across the screen. Sometimes I really wish I had never spoken up for Lu Qin. It suddenly dawned on me that setting aside the protagonist's background and halo, things like theft, seducing a friend's father, stealing a friend's fiancé, and ignoring a sick mother are actually quite disgusting. Upstairs, it's disgusting even without setting those aside. Suddenly, someone said to me, "Don't drink that soy milk." Lu Qin put something in it, holding the soy milk cup. I looked innocent. I've almost finished it. Soon. I felt my head getting hot and my limbs going weak. The teacher noticed something was wrong and asked if I wanted a doctor. I shook my head. Anyway, the exam hasn't started yet. I'll go to the spare classroom to rest for a bit. All the college entrance exam rooms had been checked, so the teacher wasn't worried I'd try to cheat and let me go. When I entered, I saw Lu Qin smiling at me, raising her fist and saying, "Go for it, Fang Yi." Less than half an hour after the college entrance exam bell rang, Lu Qin rushed out of the exam hall and headed straight for the backup classroom with a group of invigilators chasing after her. Afraid to make a loud noise, the patrolling teachers could only follow behind her, worried that she might barge into a classroom and cause trouble, which would ruin everything. Fortunately, Lu Qin was quite focused. She looked at the group of teachers and police chasing after her, tears streaming from her eyes as if she had suffered the greatest injustice. "None of you understand. You don't understand that my best friend drugged me on the day of the college entrance exam. If I hadn't discovered it in time, the one making a fool of themselves inside would have been me. I don't want to become a plaything that can only submit to others. I want to have my own life. I want to cure my mother's illness. I want to go to college. I don't want to become someone who changes beyond recognition for a man, even at the cost of my best friend." She pushed open the door of the backup classroom with a swift motion, and it was empty inside. There was only one portable television playing footage shot from a tricky angle showing Lu Qin clinging to a man. Her fair, delicate legs, the tips of her toes tensed, and her charming voice. "Marry me. Will you marry me?" The man's voice hesitated. "You know our family's rule. Unless one party commits a serious moral offense, breaking off an engagement is not allowed." Lu Qin said with a smile. "The college entrance exam is coming up soon. Why not just let her embarrass herself in the exam hall? What's the big deal? Coincidentally, I have a friend who has that kind of medicine. Just give a little to that little brat, Fang Yi, and she'll be a mess in the college entrance exam hall." Lu Qin's face turned pale. "No, that's not it. Where's Fang Yi? Why isn't she here?" "Outside the school gate. I sat in the Rolls-Royce sipping my drink while she sat beside me. It's about time." The police escorted Lu Qin out of the campus where outside were long guns, cannons, and countless eagerly waiting parents. Seeing this scene, they all took out their phones to film, gathering together and whispering, "What's going on? Cheating on the college entrance exam?" She asked. "How is it? This is my coming-of-age gift to you, the true face of a backstabbing and ungrateful best friend." I laughed. "Even if you hadn't stepped in, I could have made her pay the price. But you really did me a huge favor this way." She looked at me with confusion and I flashed him an 8-tooth smile. "I've been putting up with you for a long time." My parents had already seen the news. As soon as I got home in the evening, my mother rushed over. "Are you okay?" Her expression was grim. "I've already asked someone about it and they sent me the full version of the video. I never expected Lu Qin to be that kind of person. After all our family has done for her." My father wrapped an arm around my mother. "I always said that girl had ill intentions, but you insisted I was just being paranoid." A look of apology appeared on Mom's face. "But it's good that Fang Yi is fine. I hope it didn't delay your exam today." "I didn't take the exam," I said, spreading my hands. "I forgot to tell you, but I actually got a direct admission offer." My parents were stunned for a moment, then quickly realized. "So you went to the exam hall today just to..." Lu Qin has been scheming against me for so long before she's brought to justice. I should pay her back once too. I gathered all the evidence of the disgraceful things she had done: theft, framing others, disrupting the order of the college entrance exam, and defrauding a huge amount of property. Bad people always have to pay the price. This was said to the barrage comments. They still found it hard to believe. How did my strong and resilient female lead turn out like this? It took a long time before someone replied. Desire nurtures ambition. The barrage also revealed a secret to me. Actually, Lu Qin was reborn. The barrage said that in her previous life, Lu Qin did not choose to leave the mountains with Aunt Lu. She chose her father, who owned a self-built house, over her impoverished mother. However, she never expected that her father would quickly remarry and after having a son completely ignore her. Lu Qin started dating a troublemaker, had a child with him while still underage, And before she even reached adulthood, the troublemaker married someone else. Lu Qin caused a scene at the wedding and was stabbed to death by the drunken father of the groom. She attributed all of this to the whims of fate. So when the wheel of fate turned once again, she did not hesitate to choose to follow her impoverished mother. Aunt Lu was diligent and hardworking and soon found an employer who allowed her to bring her child to work, provided food and accommodation. That is our family. The moment Lu Qin stepped into the Fong family villa, her heart began to beat with renewed vitality. She had Aunt Lu conceal her age just so she could attend the private middle school with me. Every day she was picked up and dropped off by the driver, dressed in the designer clothes my mother bought. At school, Lu Qin carried herself more like a young lady than the actual young lady, and she loved the feeling of being surrounded by people. Soon, her desires grew wildly, and she craved more and more until one day, when no one was around, she walked into my mother's dressing room and took her first pair of earrings. She chose what she thought was the most inconspicuous pair from the collection, a pair of emerald earrings my mother had won at an auction, worth millions. Then on another late night, she stood at the door of my father's study wearing a revealing nightgown. As soon as my father stepped out, he thought he had encountered a female ghost and threw a fist the size of a sandbag at her. Lu Qin stayed at home for 7 days to let the swelling go down. From then on, she gave up her longing for my father and turned her attention to my fiancé. She, why do you have everything from the moment you're born? I'm the female lead. Everything you have should be mine. In the prison, Lu Qin completely dropped her disguise. She tilted her head and looked at me, saying, "You were supposed to be utterly disgraced that day, driven to jump off a building from the shock. Why were you recommended for admission instead?" Of course, it's because from the day I realized I could see the bullet comments and foresee the future, a surge of defiance welled up in my heart. Why should my life be written and predetermined by others? In this world, the only person who can firmly grasp their own destiny is me. I completely changed my previously lazy attitude, studying tirelessly throughout all 3 years of high school. When I finally received the admission notice, my heart was filled with immense joy. That was a future completely different from what the barrage comments had described. You lost because you were selfish and greedy. You will never understand that in this world there is only one kind of person who can be called the female lead, the kind who can firmly seize their own destiny. And a person with corrupt values, even if reborn 10,000 times, would never become the female lead. Lu Qin refused to give up. It's fine. It's fine. He will come to save me. He said I'm the one he loves most in this world. Unlike you, who has been his fiancé for so many years and hasn't even gotten a single kiss from him. He said as long as I can conceive his child, I can become the daughter-in-law of the He family. The certainty in her words made me feel as though I must be hallucinating. Didn't you see the video in the backup exam room with your own eyes? From that angle, at that time and place, if the person taking the video wasn't you, then it could only be she. You even have him to thank for getting in here, don't you? Lu Qin turned her head. You just don't understand. She said he likes filming me this way so he can watch the videos and think of me when he can't see me. We used to film so many videos together. I remained relatively calm, but the barrage of comments exploded. I really can't take it anymore. How can there be such an idiot in the world? Dear heavens. If I ever come across Lu Qin's content again, let me win $1 billion in the lottery. I'm asking, is her thought process that of a paramecium? Upstairs. Please be more precise and don't insult the paramecium. Looking at Lu Qin's smug expression, I let out a long sigh. The pitiable have their own detestable aspects. The root of Lu Qin's decay doesn't lie in this lifetime, but in the mud of her past life that she has never managed to leave behind. Since you put it that way, let me show you one more thing. 3 months after the college entrance exam, the male lead in the college entrance exam storm, was sent abroad by his family. The so-called marriage agreement between the two families was left unresolved. When Dad mentioned he spat fiercely. A fly doesn't land on an unbroken egg. What kind of good person could she be? I pressed the photo she sent me against the glass for Lu Qin to see. A church, a lawn, a wedding dress, a custom-made suit, And she laughing as if no one else was around. Has he gotten married? Lu Qin struggled to see more clearly, pushing forward desperately, only to be pressed back onto the stool by the prison guard. How is that possible? How could she get married? I'm clearly the one she loves the most. He said he would marry me. He promised he would marry me when he coaxed me into filming the video. He said he would definitely marry me in the future. How could he lie to me? I don't believe it. I refuse to believe it. Let me see. She. Let me see. She. Lu Qin's face was covered in snot and tears. Then she suddenly burst into laughter. What do you all know? She said he would marry me. Lu Qin had gone mad. When I left the prison, she sent me a message. Hey, it really doesn't feel good to be a scumbag. She's leg was broken by his father, and in the end, at his mother's pleading, he was sent abroad. He soon entered into a marriage of convenience with a foreign lesbian. Of course, only she himself knew about it when they got married. When the He family found out, they were furious, but there was nothing they could do about him. Lu Qin has gone crazy. I told she's message came quickly. Just having some fun. Why take it so seriously? He then added with relief. Fortunately, Lu Qin is an adult. Otherwise, I'd be in jail. He casually manipulated someone else's fate. Fortunately, a price was paid. I turned off my phone and walked forward along Central Street. Through this crowded street, all the fate ahead is tightly held in my own hands. Little Tiger File. Anti-theft printing. Find the book robot and choose Little Tiger. Stable and reliable. No pitfalls. The barrage appeared for the last time, filled with blessings for me. Fang Yi. May your future be as bright as brocade. Well, Fang Yi has a bright future ahead.